but for your grace.
Praise God, church. I am Monica Wanjomwangi. I'm born again. I'm from Pcea Juja farm. My sermon is going to come from the first readings and the second reading from the book of Daniel chapter 6, 1 to 9, and the second reading from the book of 2 Peter 3, 10 to 18. The theme today is grace for excellence. When we come to the book of Daniel, we are taught that Daniel was distinguished from all the other because he had an excellent spirit in him. He came from the exile from Judah. Daniel was faithful, and the king wanted to make him the king to rule over the whole kingdom. But the people or the readers or the authorities in the kingdom, in the ruling of King Darius, wanted to ruin the name of Daniel. But because God is very powerful, and God cannot make the one that believe in him tremble or be attacked by their enemies, because God knew that Daniel was faithful unto him, and Daniel could not bow down to any idol. So the rulers found a way and came into an agreement, went to King Darius and told him that King Darius should rule and live forever. But they came up with a rule that they made a rule that they took to King Darius, that anyone who shall not bow down before their God for 30 days, he should be casted into the den of lions. When Daniel heard about this, Daniel could always pray 3 times a day, call his God, anamlilia Mungu wake kwa kina, kwa unyenyekevu, ili na ndiposa akaweza kumsikia na kuweza kumngamua katika shida ambayo anapitia. After Daniel ameshaona ya kwamba King Darius have already signed the document, Daniel alikuwa anamuomba Mungu kila kuchao. When we come to the book of 2 Peter, we are taught about the day of the Lord, which shall come. We are promised that we are going to see a new heaven and a new earth. Everything that is in heaven, all elements in heaven shall be dissolved, and everything that is on earth shall all be burnt up. We are all eager as Christians to see the new heaven and to see the new earth. Our question is, are we ready? Are we cleansed? Are we righteous? Are we zealous for the day of the Lord? When the grace of the Lord is upon you, you can be able to walk even through the dark. With God, everything is possible. God's grace was upon Daniel, and that's why Daniel was able to overcome the trap that was set by the authorities of King Darius. As Christians, the things that you are passing nowadays is just because you want to be alone ourselves. We don't seek the kingdom of God. We don't seek the grace of God. Are we having a good intervention? Are we having a good encounter with our God? Because it's only grace that can make us tukaweza kutoboa hata shida zote ambazo tunazipitia. I'm going to make a reference from the book of Daniel, chapter 6, verse 3, and I'm going to read. Then this Daniel became distinguished above all other presidents and satraps because an excellent spirit was in him. The king planned to set him over the whole kingdom. We are told here that Daniel was seen unique. He had an excellent spirit. This excellent spirit that made him to be distinguished, it is because God's grace was upon him. Neema ya Mungu ikukufikia and everything can change. Everything can change in your life. When you meet God, when you meet the grace of God, everything is going to walk straight to you. We should be seeking God in this way by even avoiding hypocrisy. Because if Daniel was a hypocrite, he could not have been able to seek or even to have that grace from God. Because the grace of God made Daniel to overcome the trap that he was made, because the authorities knew that if we could only set a trap by putting this rule that no one should worship any other god except to kneel and bow down before you, we are going to get Daniel, and he is going to be thrown down into the dense lion. As you are going to read, ukiteremka hapo chini katika maandishi matakatifu ya Mungu, utaona ya kwamba all those people who had planned that Daniel was going to be thrown down into the lion's pit, the king said that kila mtu awe anamcha na kumomba Mungu wa Danieli. Why? Because the grace of God was upon Daniel. Why? Because Daniel was faithful. Daniel could even, angeweza hata Daniel was able even to interpret dreams of people. Because if nowadays the life that you are living, we seek God in a truth way, even the disease that you are having right now, this is just a matter. It is going to come, it is going to end, and it is going to leave us as Christians here. And as we continue to serve the living God, let us be like Daniel. Let us be ready. Paul said in the book of Peter that but most of the people may be reading my word and they may not get to understand. But if we seek God's grace, everything we can be able to understand. We read and we understand, and we can be able to reach this gospel and this news to the people who do not know God. May God help us to be like Daniel. May God help us that we may be able to seek His intervention, and His grace is going to be upon us, because His amazing grace yaweza kutukomboa katika mambo mengi huko duniani. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. Muwe na siku njema.
I would go my way. I'm forever grateful that you have been faithful to me, Lord, for your amazing